Hi, my name is Brooke Williams, candidate number 6091, center number UX413. For number 1, how does your product use or challenge conventions? Our film is in the genre of drama. When looking at the norms of drama in film, there is usually a problem or conflict, and drama usually addresses a social issue. This pertains to our film because we address the issue of child abuse and the emotional and physical trauma that is inflicted upon victims. On the other hand, child abuse is, in a way, an unspoken topic, almost taboo. We use this challenge of social and media conventions in order to make the audience think about the events and raise awareness of the issue. Normally, drama includes a main character in which they face a problem, and we follow that norm as our main character is facing abuse in her home. We also challenge conventions by having little to no dialogue in our film. Instead, we have a rather haunting music with lyrics that emphasize the trauma the main character endures leading up to her escape. Number 2, how does your product represent social media groups or issues? Our film represents teenagers in high school, and it introduces what they may be going through outside of school and how it affects them academically. The main character is in the middle class social group, not in poverty, but not wealthy either. The issue of our film represents is child abuse. Child abuse is an extremely serious topic, and it affects a large number of children around the world. By producing this film, we hope to raise awareness of child abuse and educate the public on its dangers. Number 3, how does your product engage with audiences and how to be distributed as an actual media text? In a real-world context, our film will be distributed through social media, a trailer, and perhaps through abuse prevention programs. Through social media, we'd be able to reach our teen and mature audience in a way that grasps their attention, such as short clips or montages of our film. A trailer would serve as an attention grabber as an actual media text. For example, we could put together clips of our film in a montage format to grasp the viewer's attention and lead them to wanting to watch the final product. In the beginning of our project, me nor any of my group members have had any filming or editing experience, so we were all starting from square one as a group. Throughout filming, we learned different camera techniques and shots, such as establishing shots, over the shoulder, and long shots, all of which we use in our project. Personally, I feel as though I learned a tremendous amount of production techniques and ways in which film can be produced. For example, I've learned the different emotional effects of specific shots, like how a tilted shot makes the audience feel off balance and abnormal. How do you integrate software, hardware, and online technologies in this project? Our entire film was made on an iPhone. All of our scenes were filmed through an iPhone, all of our editing was done through an app on my iPhone called InShot. We did not have access to professional filming or editing equipment, but in a way, I feel like this allowed us to succeed in an unconventional way. The lack of professional equipment and editing experience allowed us to be able to think outside of the box and use the resources we did have to the best of our ability, and I believe we succeeded in that aspect. It also challenged our ability to overcome difficulties, and I believe we showed ourselves that we can overcome hardship as individuals. What are the conventions of your chosen media product? My chosen media product is film. The most common characteristics that come with film include a plot, usually with a beginning, middle, and end. Films usually have some sort of soundtrack or music involved with it. Whether it be a musical soundtrack, theme music, credit music, or simply instrumentals throughout the film, there is usually some sort of music in a film project. In most films, there contains a protagonist, which is usually the good guy, if you will, and an antagonist, which is in most cases the character that the conflict that most films focus on. How would your target audience receive your media product? I feel as though our target audience is very broad. Our film is targeted to teenagers and any age above that as well. Our film is not for children. Our audience will receive our film very emotionally, and I feel as though the contents of our film allow the audience to resonate with how the main character feels, stuck and helpless, even if the viewer isn't going through that exact same abuse situation. It can be interpreted in a number of ways, including as a way in which of spreading awareness of the catastrophic effect on little children when they are left behind in these situations, when the focus is usually on the runaway. Our project's main purpose is to make the audience think. Think about the effects of abuse, and not only how it affects the victim, but how it affects the victim's loved ones as well, like a domino effect. Think about how to prevent situations like the one portrayed in our project before they get to an unpreventable point. The audience should be left to ponder what will happen to the little sister revealed at the end. How did your media product challenge or reinforce existing stereotypes? Our media product challenges stereotypes because child abuse is not normally a topic that is discussed, so I feel as though our film pushes that stereotype. I do feel as though our film follows a number of stereotypes, including the typical teenage girl stereotype and the stereotype that all her friends are going off to college and she isn't, because she hasn't prioritized her school due to her situation at home. In my opinion, this idea is portrayed in a number of coming-of-age films, specifically the not getting into college while all her friends did aspect of it. Although it is a stereotype, I feel as though it fit into our idea of the main character throwing her life away in a sense, because it felt she had nowhere to go due to her abuse. How did your media product use different media codes and conventions? Our film used a variety of media codes to convey our message. We used technical codes in order to portray the main character in a way that it would evoke empathy from the viewer by using shots that made the main character seem powerless and out of control. We also took advantage of zooming in and out of the environment. For example, the scene in which the camera zooms on the main character to focus on her and her group of friends after she feels disconnected from them, as well as reality. An example of the uses of zooming out is the final scene, where the camera zooms out from the main character running away from her abusive home, and the camera reveals that there is a little girl remaining in the home. We used symbolic codes such as the main character covering up what seemed to be bruises with makeup, as an attempt to hide what was going on at home. During the montage scene, where the main character is seen to be remembering past events of her being physically abused, she continuously closes her eyes, symbolizing that she is remembering but attempting to push the memories away as she opens her eyes and covers her bruises. We use verbal codes as a way to portray to the audience that the main character is disconnected. For example, the only dialogue that is included in the film is when the main character is surrounded by her friends, laughing, until it is revealed that they all got into college and she did not. This shows that the main character had times in which she forgot, as she was laughing and joking around with her friends, but as the dialogue and laughing fades out, she returns back to her memories and depression caused by her home life. How did your media product use different media forms? Our film heavily utilized music as a media form. Throughout our entire project, the song Possibility by Lykke Li played. We made this choice to emphasize the disassociation of the victim that the abuse that the victim was feeling. The only diegetic sounds that were kept in the project was the sound of doors closing and opening. We also made this choice intentionally to inadvertently emphasize her closing doors of her life and opening new ones, despite of what she would be leaving behind in the process. We also used visuals as a media form in order to make the film have the melancholic feeling. We used black and white filters to convey to the audience that those scenes were past memories, and we used a blue tint on the film to have a darker ambiance throughout the film, in order to emphasize how the main character was feeling. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.